Hey everybody, welcome back to I think the fifth segment of Three and Out. This is Tim Cannon along with my associate here in studio, Nate Cannon, as well as our other associate, Matthew Hoffpower. Matthew, we're glad to keep having you on for these. How are you doing?
Yeah, woot. I am rootin' and tootin'.
Nate, how are you holding up?
I'm holding up quite all right.
Well, I don't know. I know we had the interview with Patsy just a little bit earlier this week. Has there been anything else going on with y'all? Any other big training news on y'all's end, or what's going on?
Well, as far as training, I've gotten myself up to, I think I'm working on like a couple of cups of coffee per day, up to like 3 cups of coffee per day, and almost no sleep. At work, like 3 hours of sleep, something like that. So I think the endurance, the testing, the limits of the human spirit, should just. I think I'm the poster child for that right now. I think if I can survive a couple months at that pace, then hopefully I'll be able to do anything. That's my philosophy.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good training method there. You usually want to get as little sleep as possible as you can leading up to the big event. So I'm glad to see.
Yeah, it's pretty rigorous, right?
Right.
Yeah, you just want to build stamina. That's what it's all about. And you want to become dependent on chemicals like alcohol. I mean like caffeine.
Right. Nate, what about you?
I'm doing all right. Let's see. I had this past Sunday, I had a soccer game in the morning, and I came up with a bit of a knock. There was one play where it was kind of a loose ball, I guess, and me and this other guy were running at it, and I got to the ball first, which is good, but also usually bad, because usually when there's a loose ball and it's kind of up in the, up for grabs, I guess. If you get the ball first, that usually means that the other player will get you first, So I came up with a bit of a kick in the ankle, and it's a little black and blue, and sometimes I walk with a bit of a limp, but other than that, I'll be all right. Especially by the time the game comes around, I'll be fine.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. Did you retaliate against this guy at all?
No, I think so, because I won the ball. What happened? Oh yeah, I wound up tripping over to the ground, and then something happened where. Oh no, what it was I kicked the ball, and then the guy, he was trying to take a shot, and so I didn't kick it far enough away. Like I guess I didn't get to it fast enough to get it away from him, so he still kicked the ball afterwards, and then it came up and popped him in the hand or something like that. So we wound up getting a handball and a free kick. But so I guess the goal was saved. They didn't score on that play, at least. So
all's well that ends well.
Yep.
Well,
it didn't actually end well, because we wound up losing, I think, 5-0. I had to leave at halftime, but and they scored once just before halftime. But the rest of the goals came raining in.
Oh man.
Yeah, I've been subbing for a soccer team. Well, I guess 2 different soccer teams. Well, 2 of the people who are on my team, our season ended. They've been asking me to come back and sub in their 7v7 league, which is on probably the worst fields ever. It's fake turf, but there's also like valleys and concrete cracks and stuff going through the middle. It's not all one piece. I've been subbing there in the last game. There's only 2 subs. The first game was pretty good. People sub regularly, and just filling in for their team. I don't want to take all their playing time, but it was kind of a waste of my time. I went there and we only had 2 subs, but no one wanted to leave the field, and our team got destroyed. I think 8-2, 8-3 maybe. So that was a bit of a beatdown. And then this past weekend I was in Baton Rouge, working on some of our connections over there, making sure we're still in contact with some of those players, for if we ever need to interview them or just good contacts to have. So, yeah, that's all. That's really all I've been doing.
Well, Nate's story about the loose ball reminded me of a funny story. One time I remember as a kid, I was at Chuck E. Cheese. I was in the ball pit, right? So one of the balls rolls out, and I was like, at that point, I was like, what happens when a ball rolls out of the ball pit? This is going outside of my conceptual schema of like, there's a kid needs order, and then all of a sudden there's this chaos, and I'm like, what if the ball could just like, keep rolling? What if it goes outside of the building? And it just started expanding my mental horizons. I was like, what if I stole the ball and this became my ball? And then would Chuck E. Cheese like come to my house? Does he ever come off of that stage? And like all of a sudden there was no boundaries anywhere, and I just felt like very unmoored and kind of wildly exciting and terrifying with existential anxiety at the same time. That was the moment when I gained the power of rational thought.
Wow.
And so I was chasing this ball, and it rolls out the door actually, and then a poor old man came riding by, and we say so, and we know so. A poor old man came riding by, a poor old man. And I said to the man, your horse will die. And I say so, and we know so. And, needless to say, I never counted my tickets that day. I didn't get the prize.
Yeah, sounds like an exciting time at Chuck E. Cheese that day.
Yeah. I figured the listeners needed to know that.
Well, I appreciate the story there, Matt.
Oh, yeah.
But Nate, we'll send it over to you with the news.
All right, well, news today is pretty good. It's actually probably a bit of a fact-checking mission, I guess. So the first bit of news that we have is, we've been talking about how it's probably between Ronnie and Lori as the tallest cousins. Well, actually, it turns out that cousin Maggie is apparently much taller than cousin Ronnie at this point.
Oh my!
I'm really not sure all the ins and outs of how that took place, but we know that those are the facts, according at least to sources. So
it's like the young deer can take on the old buck.
Oh, that is what they say, huh?
That's what the goose says to the gander.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I guess what's good to the goose has probably got to be good enough to the gander.
Yeah, one would hope so. But if tradition if there's any justice in the world.
Well, it's kind of like they say, correct me if I'm wrong, but 2 geese is 1 in a handbasket, right?
Oh, I will not correct you because you are not wrong.
All right, and then for a second bit of news, this is actually not a fact-checking mission. This is more of a bit of breaking news, which I guess broke pretty much immediately after the last episode that we recorded. So it's a bit of old news, but I guess it's important for everyone to hear nonetheless. The Cranberry Bowl has been set for Prairieville outside of Baton Rouge on the Thursday of Thanksgiving at 3:30 p.m. So I hope to see everybody there, and can't wait. That'll be it's a good holiday. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad we got a date and time as well as location set. So looking forward to seeing everyone out there. Hopefully be able to see some of them beforehand as well. But I know everyone's chomping at the bit to actually get out there and play the game. It's coming up pretty quickly, so hopefully everyone's been training and getting ready to go.
Yeah, and I know, now that we have a time and place, all that's left is we need to get these teams settled, and hopefully the draft will be happening soon. I haven't heard anything about when it'll be taking place, but we know it's got to be soon because the game's coming up now, so we got something to look forward to.
Yeah, next few days from what I heard. So, everyone be on the lookout for the rosters, and we'll of course be the first to get that out to you.
Well, you know what they say: what's good for the hen is good for the roster. So.
I've heard that one before too. So hopefully we're enlightening some of our listeners as to the Queen's English, if you will, the old English language.
That's right. We started saying rooster here in the U.S. just for the sake of rebellion.
Right.
But here at 3 and Out, we don't know how we feel about rebellion. Maybe we should all be playing football.
Or should we be playing football? Yeah, probably not. But you get the point.
The president of Mexico is English.
All right, so for the third bit of news, back to an old fact-finding mission. We've got so the young Fulmer, the 2-month-old, or maybe more, honestly. Sources didn't confirm how old the newest Fulmer actually is. Also, I'm not even sure its last name is actually Fulmer. It might be to one of the girls of the family. I guess really probably should have prepared this bit of news a bit better, but we're sticking with Fulmer. The newest Fulmer is actually a boy, so I was referring to it as her and she in the last episode, and it's been brought to my attention that it's actually a boy, and his name is Isaac. The news here, though, is that he has not declared for the draft. So even though he meets that 2-month minimum age threshold, he has not decided that he wants to play this year.
Yeah, Isaac, the lad who likes Fig Newtons. Fig Newtons, of course, he takes after his grandpa, Isaac Newton. So, I guess we'll see. How I guess with the draft coming up, probably no room for new people to declare, but we'll see how that fleshes out. Maybe there's maybe another day if anyone else declares. So.
Yeah, and of course, by the time this airs, that another day will be long gone. So really, there's no more time.
Right. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Yeah, you heard it here last. Sadly.
All right. Yeah, unfortunately, this news mission of ours it's got a bit of lag time. It's not exactly anything we say is breaking was breaking a week ago. So
it's broke at this point.
Right.
And that's Nate with the news. Real quick, I'll give a quick shout out. It appears that either a cousin John Laney, actual person or impersonator has been listening to the show, so we want to say hi to them. We hope they'll reach out pretty soon. I haven't talked to them in a while, so hopefully we'll talk to y'all. Be able to talk to y'all pretty soon. But now we'll have a quick word from one of our sponsors and send it over to to our interview with cousin Patsy. And I'm sorry, what's her formal name?
Cousin Patsy, la mujer buena con la spatula.
Right, sí.
Yeah.
So we'll send over the interview with her, and
that's pretty to listen to.
And I'll see y'all over there.
This episode of Third and Out is brought to you by Spider-Man 2. Come see it in IMAX in select theaters, June 30th, 2004.
We're very excited to have with us in the studio Patsy Graham. Patsy Therese Graham is the firstborn of the House of Graham. She actually has never broken a rule in her life. That includes laws. And today we broke into this studio to record. We broke and entered into a practice room at the School of Music of a university, which will be undisclosed for reasons of protecting the mostly innocent Patsy, who is now a criminal. And that's her main claim to fame. But she's also the older sister of the Phil Graham, formerly known as cousin Philip Graham, who is who aspires to be a savage Norseman and the scourge of Europe. Here with us today, glowing with the radiance of Grahamness, is Patsy Graham. Patsy, by way of introduction, please say hello to the audience.
Hello, thank you for having me on the show.
It is a pleasure. It is a distinct honor, as it should be an honor.
Yeah.
So, also by way of introduction, for those of our listeners who are not as acquainted with the family of Graham as they should be, we have a few bits of trivia about you, and then possibly we'll solicit some more. So, you're a student. Tell us a little bit about your area of study.
Well, I am in the bachelor program for social work.
That means unmarried, right? Bachelor?
Sure.
Okay, that's cool.
Well, I certainly, let me just interject real quick, Patsy. I really hope that changes soon, because I have you on my fantasy marriage team, and the sooner you can make that happen, that bachelor program status change, the more happy I will be.
Well, I'll
certainly.
be moving to the master's program hopefully
right.
next year.
Oh, so no longer a bachelor.
Yeah.
As we
Oh.
all know, the female form of the word masters is Mrs. So,
Oh, well, there you go. Okay,
Very
so
nice.
good. You're
course.
doing well, Patsy. You're doing well.
so yeah, you gotta put in some social work before you meet Mr. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully.
Great. Well, I'm going to go ahead and help the audience and the associates 3 and out to get more acquainted with you by asking you a bit of rapid fire trivia. And for each
Okay.
question, you will have 30 seconds from the start of when I start asking the question. So you might have like 5 seconds in most of these
Oh,
questions.
okay then.
Because I tend to talk a lot and say, a lot. So, let's start. What was the last book that you read for pleasure
For pleasure.
or personal edification of a non-academic nature?
I think it was a Wings of Fire book, probably.
Right on. Okay, which is dragons.
Yeah,
as the
dragons.
main characters. Okay, nice. You don't remember which one?
No.
Okay. What is your favorite breed of dog?
I like terriers.
All right. Any particular region for the Scottish Terrier, English Terrier?
I like Scottish Terriers and Yorkshire Terriers.
Yorkshire. Ooh, yeah, we're getting there. All right, that was good. My next question is, what are you dressing up for this Halloween?
Whatever I can find in my closet. Might be some sort of, could be a fantasy book character, could just be in all black and be a shadow. Depends on what I find in my closet.
Ooh,
No,
okay.
you know who is a good fantasy character is also a woman. That would be Barbariana of Kung Fu. So Kung Fury, I'm sorry. So if you ever I feel like if I dress up this Halloween, I'll be going as Kung Fury. So perhaps we could go together to a party and you could be Barbariana or
Oh,
someone
that sounds
of
fun.
that sort.
That sounds great. I have a little plastic dinosaur too that you could borrow for if you don't have a dinosaur to ride.
Yeah, there you go.
Of course.
Great. Okay, and the final question, what everybody wants to know is, if you could be any flavor of Starburst, what would you be?
Cherry.
Wow. Okay. Interesting pick. And why cherry?
I like cherry.
Okay. And what is it that draws you to the mystique of cherry in particular?
Oh, I'm not sure. It's been one of my favorite fruits for most of my life.
And it's a good fruit. Very good fruit.
Oh, yeah.
Do you find that the artificial cherry flavoring has any real alignment with the flavor of an actual cherry?
Usually it's pretty okay. Pretty okay. Depends
So
on
like out
what
of
the
10,
flavoring
out
is.
of 10, what would you say? Like how good is it? How good does it compare to a real cherry?
Just the flavoring?
So like
usually
one
about a
being
7
not at all.
actually.
Okay.
Don't like maraschino cherries though. Those are
Okay.
fake cherries.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also agree with that. I think okay, so that previous scale was for how close is it to a real cherry. Now
Okay.
I want you to rate it on a scale of 10. How satisfying is the flavor of artificial cherry? Not in relation to a real cherry, just in general.
Again,
Is
depends.
it everything that you want in an artificial flavoring of cherry, or is there
That
more to
probably
be
bumps
desired?
it down to like a 5.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
You want much, and you
Yeah.
find artificial cherries to be wanting.
Depends on what I'm getting, but I really would prefer an actual cherry.
Okay.
Do you like Sonic, where they throw real fruit in the slushes? Have
I
you
don't
done a lot
usually
of
get
that?
the ones where they throw real fruit in the slushes. They do often throw a maraschino cherry into my drink, and then I have to decide whether I want to eat it or not, and what to do with the stem when I'm done.
And often, of course, you do not, right? You throw that to the curb, stomp on it, Yeah, that's food for the ants and for,
This
Well, I
is not
usually
even
eat
for
the
them
lesser
now.
beings.
Usually
Throw
eat them
it
now. I
into
need
the
to figure
sun.
out where to throw away the stem.
Where do you usually throw away this? I'm getting off topic. Okay, and then just real quick, we're gonna have a few short answer questions where I'm gonna say this or that, and you will respond with either the first option or the second option, just a one-word answer.
Okay.
Okay, so scented or non-scented garbage bags,
Non-scented.
leather or flannel,
Flannel.
squirrels or whales.
Squirrels?
Controversial. Okay, eyelashes or fingernails.
For what?
I can't say anything. You just gotta go.
Fingernails?
Okay, spray paint or Maserati.
Spray paint?
All right. Well, you could buy some spray paint if you sold the Maserati, so you answered incorrectly, but it's okay. That was great. You got 9 out of 10. That was wonderful. Okay, we love having you on the show, and
All right.
we are very excited to jump into it. I'm going to throw it over to Nate, like throwing a cherry
to the curb.
Exactly. Okay, Patsy, I'm curious. There's a lot of
Okay.
talk about who the tallest girl cousin is.
Okay.
You are the tallest girl in your family, correct?
Currently, since Marie and Susie aren't full grown yet.
Okay. And you're taller than your mom?
No, mom's taller. She's 5'7".
Okay.
Oh,
5'7".
interesting.
Okay, so not quite. Okay, so if she's taller than you, then that means neither one of y'all are the tallest girl cousin. So the quest for the tallest
I don't
girl
know,
cousin continues.
No.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. It's either... You said Maggie was taller than Ronnie now?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So that was some breaking news earlier on the show.
Yeah, that's right. Based on current research.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
then I'd say it's between Maggie and Lori, probably.
Okay.
Even if you include the aunts.
I haven't seen Aunt
Or
Lisa.
are they taller than my mom?
Oh, I don't know. Well, you said your mom is what, 5'7"?
Yeah.
So then yes.
Okay, then.
Nate, how tall is your mom?
Oh, shorter than me. I don't know. Maybe somewhere around there. 5. No way. She's probably like 5'4", 5'5".
Okay.
Something like that. What about your mom? How tall is she? We're talking about, so my mom, Nate's mom, this would be Aunt Marilyn, and Matt's mom, that would be Aunt Laura, of course.
That's right. My dad's about 6'2", maybe, and I would say that my mom, based on that, is probably around. Oh, I don't want to be too conservative in my estimate, but she's probably around like a foot shorter than my dad, maybe a little less. Let's say 5'6", and cross our fingers.
I think Maggie and Lori are probably taller than most of the aunts.
That's
Maybe
fair.
all of them.
Pretty exciting stuff. Pretty edge your seat. This is people are passing people up like by the week. Like Maggie just decided to get taller when she heard the podcast. She was like,
Yeah.
let's shake things up.
Right. So it sounds like the consensus is Margaret or Lori.
Yes.
Okay, so another topic of conversation recently was we were trying to decide what are the best holidays. Like, what is the order of mightiness, I guess, of holiday, right? So what is the most mighty holiday, and then what goes beneath, and so on and so forth until the end. Do you have an
Okay.
order of holidays? Like, what do you think is the best, the
Sort
worst
of.
in between?
I like Christmas, Thanksgiving. Not sure what would be next. Next would maybe be Halloween. And after that,
Is that in order? Is that like top 3, or is that
Top 3.
That's 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
What are your criteria? Like, what do you like about Christmas better than Thanksgiving and Halloween, I guess?
It's a lot of tradition that goes into it. We have a lot of fun Thanksgiving traditions, like the Cranberry Bowl. There are also a lot of fun Christmas traditions. Those are the 2 holidays when we get together with the family the most.
That's true.
Yeah.
And there's all this fun stuff to do. It's something celebrated by the entire country.
Mm-hmm.
Even at church, there's fun stuff to do for Christmas or Thanksgiving even. It's a lot of fun, happy times.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting. So you mentioned specifically the tradition, and I must say, of course, as they say in this family, do something once, shame on you. Do something twice, it's a tradition, right? So,
Indeed.
but okay. So you mentioned specifically the Cranberry Bowl as a Thanksgiving tradition that we do. What is and then you said that you also have Christmas traditions, but didn't quite elaborate. Is that something that's proprietary, or is that something that we may be able to glean and pass on to our listeners?
Well, let's see. What we do for Christmas kind of changes depending on who we're celebrating with. Like if we're with my dad's side of the family, we'll meet with the dad's side of the family either for Thanksgiving or Christmas, or sometimes both, depending on when we meet with mom's side of the family, this side of the family. And dad's side of the family has started a tradition of when we meet up, either Thanksgiving or Christmas, we get into teams and we have a series of games and challenges, and we see which team comes out on top each year.
Oh. It sounds a lot like it could be somewhat influenced by the tradition of the Cranberry Bowl, wouldn't you say? I don't know.
possible.
Kind of does, yeah,
Possible.
absolutely.
Yeah. There's some connections there. Wow.
Or perhaps maybe a long time ago, the Cranberry Bowl was born of the Graham's Christmas tradition.
Oh, wow. That would be
Not likely, since it only started few years ago.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Then it was inspired by the Cranberry Bowl.
Nice.
There
Do
we
they
have
call this? Do they call it the Cranberry Games?
No, I don't know if we have a name for it.
Okay.
We compete for a cork board that we've made into like a graham cracker.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's our winner's plaque.
That's
Gotcha.
great. Okay. It sounds like a relatively primitive civilization so far, but I'm glad that they're picking up some of their own
Yeah.
characteristics
Yeah.
and having some culture there in there. That sounds great. But they should probably get a name. But other than that, it sounds great. In regards to the holidays, then I would definitely throw the 4th of July in there. Just
Oh
because,
yeah, that's another one.
yeah, in recent years that has tended to be something where everybody gets tired of like not seeing their cousins all in one place, and so Aunt Lisa would I think kind of got a lot of the steam behind the tradition rolling of getting together around the 4th of July and like having a bunch of like red, white, and blue like Jello cake and like the strawberries and the blueberries thing, and I think it's often been at Aunt Lisa's house because they would have a swimming pool there, right, or something like that. So it's just a good summer spot. And so I would definitely throw that one in there somewhere. For, like,
yeah,
you made a good
definitely.
point
Probably
about-
3 or 4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it would potentially beat out
Halloween.
Halloween. Okay. Halloween is fun and lots of tradition. And then if we were to throw in there, not celebrated necessarily by the whole country, but also a traditional sort of a holiday and a vacation that everyone in our family is dear to their hearts, except for people who have been born after it sort of stopped being a tradition and we're taking a break for is Percy Quinn, right? I think some
Well,
of your
that's not a
siblings have-
holiday, but yeah.
yeah, okay. I don't know.
Susie's
I feel
never
like
been.
in the English in the British English sense of holiday, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, there
Susie.
you go.
Yeah, okay. So Susie's never been. I heard that recently. I was surprised that there was a cousin in existence who is old enough to speak who has like never been to Percy Quinn. I thought
Yeah.
like, well, what is the world coming to? Any comment on Percy Quinn?
Always fun.
Yeah.
I hope we can start doing that again more regularly, especially now that a lot of the cousins are older and can drive themselves and get to Percy Quinn, whether the rest of their family is going or not.
Okay.
Yeah, save Percy Quinn, am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There was a controversy about should we save Percy Quinn or not. Like some people thought that Percy Quinn was in competition with DeGray Lake, and I love to stir up controversy. So now we all know whose side Patsy's on. It's just everyone, lock your doors at night.
Yeah. So Patsy, we talked the past few episodes, and of course this is kind of just a running question. Me and Timmy talked about it in the first episode. Marie, she gave a wonderful interview in the
Yeah.
Mayflower Classic of, I believe it was 2016. I'd have to go check the history there. But she gave a wonderful interview. She did not declare for the draft this year. Doesn't mean that she can't play, right? Just because you're not
Yeah.
in the draft, of course you can still play. But, the draft, it's a big spectacle, and, people make lots of money, and it's all kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So she didn't declare. I'm curious. Do you think that she may come back and play? Do you think that she's interested in the future? What do you
She's
think?
interested in playing, and would probably like to join. Depends on what happens that day, but I think she would be interested in joining us.
Okay, cool. That's good. What a relief, honestly.
Oh yeah, good. Okay, so have you been doing anything recently that would in terms of training for the Cranberry Bowl? Anything that we could gain some insight from in terms of the things that you've been doing that you think have been preparing you for playing? You are playing, right? In the
I'm
Cranberry Bowl.
playing.
Okay.
I plan
yeah,
to play
that was
this
cool.
year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, great. How many have you played in before? And then the other question was, what's your training look like this year? Maybe different from other years.
I don't know how many I've played in before. I play some years.
Countless, I guess. If we're unable to count them, then it's countless.
Unable to count them.
Okay. An uncountable
as for
number,
training-
as the mathematicians say.
As for training, not much going on in the training department, but I find I get a lot of exercise just having to walk back and forth across campus all day.
Yeah. Wow.
That is good.
She's in such
Walk
peak
or
physical
run.
shape. She's done all her training for this year, like in previous years, and now all she has to do is maintain. Wow.
Right.
Okay. I love that. That's great.
That's good. You just got to hope for no injuries, A lot of times maintaining is kind of like a well, maybe we pushed it a little too hard too early. So hopefully, no injuries prior to the game, and we'll see you
that
out
would be
there.
preferable.
Yeah, it sounds like walking on a mostly flat land campus is, a good way to avoid a lot of potential injuries. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, have you been practicing for anything else that could count as practice for the Cranberry Bowl? Because as we just want our listeners all to remember that we've determined through science recently in the field of sports that the practice compounds just a lot like tax and interest and loans and whatever. Like, we've gotten a lot of those theories from finance and found that they just transfer directly to sports physiognomy and things like that. So I don't know if...
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I can't think of anything that would count toward that
Okay,
at
wow.
all.
Nate, do you think that the compounding conservation of energy and avoidance of injuries of not training for anything would exponentially increase her game by the Cranberry Bowl?
Yeah, so totally, right? Like we talked about earlier, it sounds like she's already prepared plenty in years past, right? Just like in everyday life, right? You work a job, you prepare yourself for retirement, and then eventually you retire. Although Patsy's not retiring, she's still maintaining, right? So like she's already done all of the compounding. Now all of the fitness and training is there. Now she just needs to sit and she can enjoy as much as college can be enjoyed. Patsy can go and enjoy her time in college.
Yeah. Wow, I'm just thinking about once she does retire, like, you imagine that momentum just like,
Right.
She might like be able to, the curve of, I'm just saying, like, longevity and immortality is becoming kind of trendy these days. You might be somebody to watch out for in that arena.
Yeah, that's true.
That sounds cool. Okay, have you been enjoying college so far?
For the most part, yes.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
Especially
very
since we're back, everyone's back at school.
Everyone's
And
back. Cool.
yeah, everyone's back for the most part, and they're letting us hold events and things. So that takes away a lot of the stress of school. We can go have fun events on the parade grounds or with the apartment complexes or wherever else they hold events.
Nice. They being whom they are, the powers, and
They whom they are.
the beings that be. Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Also
Love that.
able to socialize a lot more with my classmates. Couldn't
Oh, yeah.
make a lot of new friends over virtual school. So
Yeah.
That's true.
Wow.
Do you like your roommates?
yeah, I do. They're all very nice.
Y'all have a lot of fun together?
Yeah, we do fun stuff together. Sometimes someone starts cooking and everyone else comes in and we all end up cooking together and
Hanging
then we
out.
share a meal.
That's great.
Well,
That's nice.
I mean, I feel like that's definitely something that could be counted as preparation for the game, right? Because, like,
yeah.
the Cranberry Bowl is, of course, the main feature of Thanksgiving. But then, secondarily, of course, there's always tailgates and stuff where people eat turkey and whatever dessert and, mac and cheese, green bean casserole,
Whole meal.
pumpkin pie. Yeah.
Cranberry
Well,
sauce.
it's more of a tailgate. It's not much of a meal. It's more of the Cranberry Bowl is the main feature, and then of course the tailgate that happens before or after. In the case of normally.
I think some of our aunts are going to be mad at you.
Well, that's all right. Bring them
They'll
at
get
me.
it.
That's what I say. Bring them on.
Brave soul.
Okay, great. Yeah, I've heard that you can cook pretty well. That you enjoy cooking.
Decently, yeah.
that's-
If I have the time and the motivation for it.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Have you ever made a tomato bake?
I have not.
Okay.
Let me tell you, quit while you're not too far behind, because
Gotcha.
cousin Elaine, she makes the best that there ever has been.
Yeah, can't compete with that. I aspire to one day be able to make a lasagna as good as my mom's.
Okay.
Nice.
Objectively the best lasagna.
Well, I mean,
Objectively.
whatever. Okay.
Yeah. That's your objective opinion, in my opinion. No, it's just true. My mom made a lasagna today that was made out of ravioli.
Ooh,
With instead of just noodles. It was cool.
that sounds interesting.
That was interesting. Yeah. Maybe not the best. Objectively, maybe not the best. But
Right.
great. Enjoying college. pretty decent at baking by your own standards, so that probably means astronomically amazing at baking.
Why,
which
thank
is
you.
great. Yeah, there you go. She has not denied it.
Yeah.
This is great news, people. Patsy's the best cook ever. That's wonderful. It's good.
Cousin Patsy.
Yes,
Patsy.
cousin Patsy specifically, not grandmother Patsy.
They call her, you're right, of course. They do call her Patsy, the good woman with the spatula, so.
Oh yeah, it's or La Buena Mujer con la Spatula in Mexicano.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's right. So the studio doesn't have any air conditioning today. How do you feel about that? Is this?
It's hot.
Would you think that? Do you think that this is maybe helpful preparation for the Cranberry Bowl in some way?
I'd say it is. Gets you used to the temperature, whatever it may be. Is it supposed to be hot or cold?
Yeah,
This Thanksgiving.
I don't know. When is Thanksgiving Day? Is it the
Gotta
that's a good
be
question.
the 20-somethingth.
Okay, I think we can hope for some nice, frigid, desolate tundra. Hopefully for that far in the future. If it keeps getting colder at the rate that it has been, that's good. Yeah, as Charlie Brown once said, a good player likes hot weather. It keeps him loose.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, and he was a good manager of a good sport. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Never was good at kicking the ball, but,
That's right, yeah.
Sometimes, a lot of people say a lot of times the best coaches were not necessarily the best players, Like maybe there's something, well, obviously there's something correlative about that, but I wonder if there's something causative about that,
Yeah. Sometimes maybe the best managers don't always have the best team, would you say? I don't know. You could be a great manager, but your team could just be so abysmal.
Yeah.
Are you the manager of your fantasy draft?
Yeah, I would be the manager of my team, yeah.
Okay, yes, okay.
Yeah, and I guess, nobody on my team has gotten married yet, so maybe that makes me a bad manager,
I don't know. I think this season is early. It's only been 5 years since the draft was drafted, right? So
Right, yeah.
I think this is a long game we're playing here. Patsy, are you taking any fun elective courses, or are you doing any fun extracurricular activities?
I'm currently taking a Greek mythology class that's pretty interesting. Also medieval history, both very fun classes. And I find there's a surprising amount of overlap. Sometimes we go over some sort of myth in Greek mythology, and then medieval history. The religion for that is a lot more Christian, but there are also a lot of remaining Greek and Roman elements in the culture. And sometimes something I learn about in Greek mythology is something I learn about in medieval history the next day.
Wow, okay.
It's always nice when classes would do that, It's like extra instruction.
Yeah, compounding interest, you might say.
Right, one might say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Patsy, as a girl cousin, you have participated in Girl Cousins Camp, is this correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, can you tell us outsiders a little bit of an inside perspective on Girl Cousin Camp? Because I think that at least half of the cousins, statistically speaking, around half of the cousins have not had an inside perspective of Girl Cousin Camp, and then the other half would probably just enjoy hearing about it.
Well,
About half of us probably don't even qualify, I would say.
Yeah, about half of us
Yeah.
probably will never be at Girl Cousin Camp.
Right.
Except as guest lecturers, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps,
Yeah.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit of what goes on?
well, we haven't been able to do Girl Cousin Camp too much lately, but when we do have Girl Cousin Camp, everyone within the age range that's been set for the year, we all get together at one of the aunts' houses, and we have a lot of girl time, lots of just coming up with ideas for things to do. Sometimes we just talk, paint nails, go someplace fun, and that's all I'm going to say to you two.
Oh, wow, okay, excellent. Yeah, the concept of girl time has been outlined, but only in sketches.
But only outlined,
Yeah,
exactly.
I would say there's still lots of blanks. Oh, that's...
Lots of blanks and shades
Very
to fill
secretive.
in. And,
That's right. Yeah, wow, okay.
And there were talks of, I can't remember if it was Karen or Ann were talking, and they said, soon as Genevieve turns 12, y'all can start making y'all's own bourbon at Girl Cousin Camp, because she would be of drinking age, according to Uncle Mike, that is, of course.
Yeah.
How would you,
Something
I
to
guess...
look forward to.
Okay, there you go. Good.
Yeah.
Good. I was going to ask, is that something that you would be interested in, or, yeah.
Some distilling process would be, I'm sure.
Well, it would be interesting.
Yeah. Great. I'd love to taste some of whatever comes out at Girl Cousin Camp. Then I wonder if we could cut a deal with the Rude Boys and the Girl Cousin Camp and have sort of a business exchange there of like they would
We'll see.
provide us with alcohol and we would rudely do nothing in return.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, then we would have to fight you,
Maybe so.
and
Maybe
we would
so.
win.
Well, that could be an exciting event for both parties. I think.
Yeah.
That could be a new tradition if we did it twice.
Of course. If we did it once, shame on us, of course. But
Yeah, that's it. Not the winning, I mean, just the fight. Yeah.
just the fighting, right.
Great. Would be a tradition. Nate, any final questions for our illustrious guest?
Yeah, I guess I got one final one. Do you see any high potential future Cranberry Bowl participants coming out of the House of Graham? You know, like perhaps maybe in your family, perhaps maybe, you know, I know you're still on your bachelor's program, but, you know, eventually once you move on to the master's program, I wonder if perhaps you could bring along someone who could...
Well, I'll try. Currently, though, Kirk and Philip, usually willing to play, excellent contenders. Marie,
yeah, of course, Philip we know too, you know, especially going
Yes,
to
Philip.
the Norwegian. You know,
Yeah.
he would come back with a bit of a fighting spirit.
force to be reckoned with.
Right.
Marie is old enough and active, very active, and would probably do pretty well
Okay.
in the Cranberry Bowl. Susie's probably a little young and small, but I think she's more active than most of her siblings ever were. And
if you think
she'll
about it,
probably...
height maybe is not that big of a factor, right?
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perhaps.
I think.
Yeah, it depends on who you ask.
Yeah,
but
maybe
yeah.
fleet of foot.
Right,
you know,
fleet of
Yes,
footness.
she would, she would be quick and hard to catch, and no one would want to tackle her, so she could be a good player even now.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know, if she didn't tell anybody ahead of time that she was in the game, people might not even notice. Might
Right.
not even
Yeah.
be looking for her, and then she would just come in with a sack out of nowhere, and the crowd would go wild, I think.
Yeah, and one comment I just wanted to make real quick. Of course, we talked about cousin Isaac the other day, and how, you know, he's probably a couple of months old, and I think you know, I think the cutoff is only 2 months. So as long as Susie is you know, above that threshold, which I believe she is.
Yeah.
Yeah, cousin Susie.
Well
above the 2-month-old threshold. So she definitely qualifies to play.
Oh, she qualifies.
Okay, good.
And I think she'd be a good asset in the field.
Good. Okay.
Oh, okay. There you go. Very nice. Your travel plans for the Cranberry Bowl just got solidified. It sounded like.
Yeah. Just now.
All right. Excellent. So, Nate, I know that you have to go to Texas and fish, but you also have to get a fishing license like on the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be quite a feat of dexterity to like get a fishing license during the trip from Baton Rouge to Texas.
Right.
Hopefully they'll have like you'll have like a wildlife and fisheries department motorcade that can sort of follow you and just do it like while you've got your window rolled down, like, you know,
Right.
do the test and make sure you know how to cast and things, whatever goes into that. I know lots of things that go into that, and but it'll be interesting because then there'll be a transition of government from Louisiana to Texas, so that'll be an interesting to try to, like, should you try to do it while you're still in Louisiana, it's a little bit maybe like, where is it cheaper? I don't know if you've put much thought into it, or if you're just kind of wing it by the seat of your car. What's the scoop?
Yeah, so I guess the way it has to be done is because I'm going fishing in Texas, I got to get a Texas one, which I think is only obtainable when you're in Texas. So I'd have to find an academy, I guess, to get my license at.
Oh, okay.
Once I cross the border.
That sounds a lot more complicated. You'd have to stop the car and like park somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, there's more that goes into it than I thought. That's great. Well, okay, excellent. Well, as we draw this one to a close, it's been a distinct pleasure to have Patsy here in the makeshift breaking and entering studio of 3 and Out, where we painted the walls with our beautiful background. You might not be able to see it in the podcast, but imagine, if you will, our new logo. So that's wonderful that we've been putting a lot of work into marketing. And then we just painted our faces on it with our names under it. Hopefully no one will suspect that it was us here and come after us.
Right.
For breaking into the School of Music. And I might steal a couple of keys off that piano because mine's kind of, some of them don't work. So
Oh, there you go.
we'll see. We'll take some home and see if I can jerry rig it, as Buck would say, jerry rig.
Yeah.
It's the backbone on which this country was built.
Yeah.
Anyway, just to say that we loved having you here, Patsy.
Thank you. I
been
enjoyed coming here today.
Good.
great.
Is there anywhere that our listeners can find you? Do you have any kind of anything to promote? Like, do you are you some kind of a musician or an artist of some kind or anything like that you have to promote?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Perhaps in the future.
That's okay. Well, relatives, you know where to find Patsy. I'm sure you can find her.
That's right. Look for Greek mythology or medieval history, and you'll find Patsy Graham
Yep.
posing for Greek statues or jousting with a lance.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's exists in all times and in all cultures as a paragon, an archetype, if you will, of the feminine genius. So. Here we are. Patsy's instantiation in 2021 America in the flesh. Here she is. The ethereal Patsy Graham. The good woman with the spatula,
Yeah.
as it were.
Okay, very good. Patsy, it was wonderful having you on.
Thank you.
We'll see you sometime else. Matt, any final words?
And a bottle of rum.
Patsy, any final words?
Nope.
All right, we'll see you.